Yo, Dave Hatcher here from Tahoe Bouldering Guides. And I've decided to put together a little video series for y'all on YouTube to kind of help you find the boulders. I know a lot of these approaches can be pretty cryptic. So my thought was to kind of take you on these like little virtual tours and maybe it'll kind of help you sort it out. And then once you get to the boulders, you're pretty much gonna want a guidebook, I think, because that way you'll be able to tell which boulders are which and which problems are which. Also in these videos, I'll probably do some little profiles on some of the bouldering, some of the classics. You'll find all kinds of useful information in these videos. So have at it and let's go bouldering. Yo, Barnyards! Today I'm going to show you this really cool zone on the east shore called the Far Side. It has these really cool shaped boulders. There's like a lot of fins and torpedoes and kind of pillars that kind of stick up out of the hillside. So it creates a lot of arête climbing and a lot of compression. There is some face climbing, some seams, but that's kind of the main fare there is compression and arêtes. A few things to remember before you go up to the Far Side. Number one, the approach is really steep. It's about a 20 to 30 minute grind depending on which zone you're going to. So expect a really physical, steep approach. But once you get to the boulders, it kind of plateaus off, really nice views, flat landings for the most part, and then you have a pretty sweet downhill approach to get out of there. Let's see, number two is, it is on the east shore, so the rock is pretty grainy, and it hasn't been climbed on a lot. It hasn't seen a ton of traffic, so be heads up and watch out for friable holds. And number three are the grades. The climbs are generally kind of between V0 to V5 is mostly what you're going to find up there. Plenty of variety in that grade range. And there are some 6s and 7s and a 10 here and there, but it's just they're really few and far between. So if you're looking for really hard climbing, this ain't the spot. But if you're looking for V1 to V5, and some cool adventure climbing, a lot of really cool rad high balls, then the Far Side is calling your name. Alrighty. Here we are at the cul-de-sac parking area. And before we start hiking up, I just wanted to show you that you're parking right next to this house right here. You're in a residential neighborhood, so please be respectful of the homeowners around here. It is legal to park here, as long as it's in the summertime, not during snow removal. All right, so just be cool here. And then here's the trail heading up. It just starts heading up this gully and it's about 5 minutes to the first junction. I just walked up for 5 minutes from the cul-de-sac parking area and I've arrived here at the first junction. This left fork, marked by this little path here on the left, goes up to the Real Unreal Ridge, and this right fork goes up to the Primetime area and Valley of the Dolls. If you take this left fork, it's about 10 minutes to the Early Times area, and that's going to be the first area on your left as you're hiking up. And then if you continue for another 10 minutes past Early Times, you will arrive at the Real Unreal area, and that's kind of where Devil's Haircut and the main circuit is, and that's a great place to start. Now I'm going to show you the way to the Primetime boulders. What I did is I walked up on the right fork from that first junction for 5 minutes, and now I've got to the second junction. And this little sign with the X on it's been here for several years, and it might still be here. So you have two options here. The main trail to Primetime actually goes to the right here, over there, and goes into a different valley over there and goes up to Primetime. And the other way to go is straight up the Valley of the Dolls, which would be more like straight up from this sign here with the X on it. And that's pretty much it. And then there's that ridge line way up there. That's the ridge line kind of where the boulders are. So you can kind of go up the Valley of the Dolls on the left, or you can take the main trail that goes around to the right to Primetime. That's pretty much it. That's the way up to Primetime. And it's a good 20 minutes from here. And it took 10 minutes to get here. So it's about a 30-minute total up to the Primetime boulders. We just walked up the trail for 30 minutes. The book says 20, but the trail was in kind of poor shape and it took us 30, and there was some snow. So 20 to 30 minutes and you're gonna get to this junction here. And the Primetime area is divided into 3 zones. It's Primetime East, West, and the Primetime Ridge. So when you get to this junction, if you want to go to Primetime East, go right, that away. If you want to go to Primetime West, where the Primetime boulder itself is, go left here. And then the Primetime Ridge area is all the boulders on your left as you were hiking up the valley. It's all this stuff on the left here. You can see a bunch of huge boulders as you hike up, and that's the ridge line that separates us from Valley of the Dolls. But the best way to get there is just to go left here at this junction, go up to the Primetime boulder, and then double back down a trail that leads from the Primetime boulder onto that ridge line. We went left at the fork back there, and we walked for about 3 minutes, and we just arrived at the saddle where Primetime boulder is. Primetime boulder sits right over there in that little saddle, and we just walked 50 yards over here, and here is Easy Slider, there's Spike, there's Redneck Suspenders, Lightning Tree right next to it, and Fin Walker right there, Rad V4, Rad V5, Lightning Tree, and Redneck Suspenders V2. So we're just going to warm up over here first, and then we're going to bank back over to Primetime because it's kind of nice and sunny over here. All right, that's it. Let's get it. Just the way I like them. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that section there on the far side. It's certainly a pretty cool gem there on the east shore to go check out. A little history lesson on the far side. In 2012, Larry Dewin, long time South Shore local, found the far side, and then he grabbed his sons Peter and Ryan, and also a couple more South Shore locals, Brandon Ransom and Rachel Gayfield. And they went up there and did pretty much the majority of all the first ascents up there at the far side over about a 2-year period. And then after that, they gave me a call to go out and map the zone for the guide. And I went out there, and me, Dave Suizo, Lamberto Franco, Noah Kaufman, and Kyle O'Meara went up there and added a bunch more cool lines. So we did a few, but those guys did the most of it, the majority of it. And that's it.